good investment in my life, and that changed the whole my life. Dad was a high school teacher, mom was a primary school teacher. Why I have decided to study UK, especially Birmingham City University. So after finishing my graduation and post-graduation, I was still teaching that English language center. So most of the time I get a question is, as you mentioned, you were born in lower middle class family. Your dad was a high school teacher, mom was a primary school teacher. So how did you come to UK to study at Birmingham City University? That's the great question I always get. So to answer this question, I'd like to share with you something why I have decided to study UK, especially Birmingham City University. So by the way, before that I'd like to share with you my educational background. So I completed my secondary school certificate from Gornati High School, and then I went to Vola Gopt College. It's in Borishal division. I was a bit naughty, that's why my parents sent me away so that I cannot hang around with my buddies. So I went there, I completed my higher secondary certificate.
Use the right 2 lanes to keep right onto the M11 towards Cambridge.
Okay, then I completed there. So in Bangladesh, if you'd like to study public university, there are so much competition out there. You got to participate in the exam, and you got to score a good results. So by the way, I'm showing you, we are just following the Cambridge, and I think this route we're gonna go so far, and then probably
in 14 miles, keep right onto the M11 towards Cambridge.
Okay, so we are following Cambridge. Okay, so what I was telling you is, so I took admission in a coaching center to perform well in the competitive exam. The first time I didn't have any chance, so I took admission in Dhaka College, and my subject was botany. I didn't like it, I didn't love it at all, so I have spoken with my dad and I decided to drop. And my dad said, okay, this is your life, decide whatever you love to do. So by this time I applied for BMA long course. Basically this is the job as a junior army officer. So I was selected, I have been so far. However, at the last stage I was rejected as well. But the good news is during that sort of exam, competitive exam to become army officer, I studied a lot, and that sort of preparation helped me a lot to sit for university competitive exam again. And yeah, I got chance at Chittagong University. It's not the high-ranking university in Bangladesh, but it's a public university. You don't have to pay that much. And I had option to choose a few subjects like history, Bengali, philosophy, all this stuff. But from my childhood, I was not that much studier. So I had a consultation with senior brother. So which subjects I should take? I don't have to study that much. And a lot of people, they said history would be a good one, because if you just study 2-3 weeks before the exam, you can pass and you can even get a good result. However, I have taken that advice and I studied history, bachelor and masters, and my result was not that much bad. It was 3 point something. I can't remember, 5.2 or something else. So after finishing my graduation and post-graduation from Chittagong University, then I again started taking preparation for kind of public job, government job, and also I was trying to get a job in bank as well. So that was the kind of a start point. Still I can remember one day my dad, he came to Dhaka, and I came to bus terminal to say him goodbye. And that time I had a job. I was teaching in a language center. It's called Cyphers. And he asked me, have you taken this job as your career? I said, no, just, I'm working, I'm getting some money to manage financially myself, and also this job is giving me kind of feel to improve myself, because that's the language center. I got to study a lot. I need to teach students a lot as well. Yeah, that was kind of a starting point. And all of a sudden, once I get into this job, one of my students, senior students, there are some kind of senior, officials. They need English, and that's why they come to this kind of language center, and they learn English. So one of the students asked me if I'd like to work in a recruitment manager or training manager, and I said, yeah, I'll be interested in. And he asked me to send me a CV to his HR, and I sent it, and I got a call from them and said, you haven't sent me your MBA certificate. I said, what? And he said, yeah. I said, I didn't do MBA. I majored in history. And they said, no, it's our company policy for this position. We are looking for someone else who got to have MBA. And that was funny. Then I have another conversation with that particular senior student, and he said, oh, I forgot to tell you, I thought you have got an MBA. So however, you can go to the private university and buy something or do something very quickly, right? So that was against my ethics, so I didn't do that, but I had started exploring some sort of information. And what I found is, if I'd like to go to a private university with good ranking university, it costs a lot. It's like 6-7 lakhs. I'm talking about in 2010. So that time I was still teaching that English language center, and there are loads of IELTS students. They come to that center, and I had some good relation with our students as well. And one of the students said, you asked me a lot of questions. Why don't you go to a seminar in British Council? It's happening today. You can learn so much information. And I went there, fortunately, because I didn't have any class after lunch. So I went to British Council. I listened to the person who was conducted seminar. And the team was from Birmingham City University, one of the deans and international marketing officer. So what I found is, if I study masters, I can do that. English requirement that time it was 6. I thought, okay, I can do that as well. And they said you don't have to pay all the money together. It's just deposit money. That time I paid £3,000. So I was thinking, if I can arrange £3,000 and if I can get the visa, I can fly to the UK. Probably later on I can figure out, right? So that was the confidence I had at that time. So I left the seminar. And the most interesting thing that attracted me was post-study work. So that time I also found that once I finish this course, I can go for work permit for 2 years, full-time work permit. And I thought, if I invest, like that time the tuition fee was 9,750. If I invest in myself 9,750 after finishing this course, I'm gonna get 2 years work permit, and I can easily get the money back. So that was good investment in my life, and that changed the whole my life. So I had a conversation with my dad, and I said I need £3,000. He said, how much is equivalent to Bangladeshi taka? That time it was like 117 taka equals £1. Now it's 147. So he said, probably I can manage that. And then what about the remaining balance? 9,750 minus 3,000. I said, don't worry about that, I'll figure it out. And also I was thinking, if once I get the UK visa, then probably I could borrow some money from somewhere else, because once you get the visa, a lot of people will put confidence in you. They will trust you, and they'll think that, okay, if they support you, probably later on you can refund the money, and also you can help them as well. That's the reason. So so I was glad that my mom, she was a primary school teacher, so she took out some money from her pension pot in advance, and I deposited 3,000 pounds to Birmingham City University. That's how I was planning to study Birmingham City University. Hopefully this information is gonna help a lot. However, just I'd like to show you around the Cambridge. Is a countryside. You can see a lot of crops out there. And the traffic is okay, not heavy traffic, but it's 2 lanes anyway. We will still we are on the right track, on right time, and hopefully we're gonna arrive there very soon. Thanks for watching.